Welcome to I Awaken, a space for conscious expansion, deep listening, and the gentle unraveling of who we think we are so we can remember who we truly are. I'm your host, Archita, and today's episode is an invitation to slow down, soften, and tune in beyond words, beyond logic, and into resonance. We're exploring how sound healing creates inner peace and supports health, not just as a spiritual concept, but as a lived, embodied experience that directly impacts the nervous system, emotions, and consciousness itself. Our guest is Dr. Greta Chamberlain, best-selling author, recording artist, Grammy-considered musician, internationally recognized healer, and a bridge between consciousness science and sound. Her album In Science weaves channeled wisdom with the tones of singing bowls to create immersive soundscapes that calms the body, regulate emotions, and open pathways to deep inner coherence. With a doctorate in naturopathic medicine, Dr. Greta grounds her metaphysical work in anatomy, neurology, and structural integration, making her work both expansive and precise. She is also the channel for the realm of beings, a collective field of non physical guidance supporting humanity's evolution through unconditional love, self sovereignty, and conscious creation. This conversation is less about learning something new and more about remembering what your body and soul already know. So, Dr. Greta, welcome to I Awaken. It's a pleasure to have you here.
Thank you very much. I'm very pleased to be here with you and the audience. So thank you. Mhm.
Yeah, and the pleasure is all ours, and I'm really excited to get into this conversation with you today. So, without wasting any time, Dr. Greta, let's get into it. So, you know, sound has been used for healing across cultures for centuries, and yet science is only now catching up. So, how does sound actually interact with the nervous system to create inner peace? If you could just, explain for our listeners.
Well, it's by frequency and vibration. There's certain frequencies that do healing, like frequency, I think it's 432, and that people in the audience, if they want to go through a healing process, they can go on YouTube, select a 432 music piece, and play it while they're meditating. I suggest when if they're doing that, I've used it myself, but I don't usually use the pictures. I kind of close my eyes and just vibe with the frequency of the music that's being given. There's a type of music also that's on online and deals with ambiance. That is music that is very soft, very gentle, and can do healing as well. I have a friend of mine a long time ago. He went to study in Japan, and one of the things that he would do would be to write your name on a piece of paper, and from looking at your name, because he was a musician, he would create compositions around the energy of your name, which is your energy signature. And that would be the name that you were born with, not if you later on went and changed your name to something else. And he would develop songs, whole composition around the frequency of your name. And then you could listen to it, and it would also help heal you. So there are a lot of ways of doing it. Sound is really wonderful. On our album In Silence, one of the sounds that we used other than my voice was also the singing bowls. And our album is different because Danielle Heiss, she was featured as the sound bowl musician, and one of the things I asked her, I said, "Well, do you want to turn, you want to what about putting the, sound as 432 hertz?" And she said, "Oh, no, Greta, I'm a purist." So when you listen to the sounds on the album, you're going to be listening to the pure sounds of the bowls, because to change it into 432 hertz would have meant that after we did the soundtracks, it would have to go to somebody else that would switch it into 432 hertz. And because she's a purist, we left each bowl at its own frequency. So when you listen to that album in silence, you're going to be listening to the pure form of the singing bowls. And hers are white quartz bowls, because they have bowls of different um, elements, and then each element has its own frequency. Like we carry frequency, and we're attracted to people who have similar frequencies as we do, you see. So frequency is something that's really, really great about healing. People talk to us about the album and they use it. I have a woman that was challenging herself with cancer, and she would listen to the piece called Resurrection, which talks about, you don't have to stay where you are. You can resurrect yourself. So people are using the album because of the sound and the sound of my voice and the words. Each word that is said on that album has frequency as well. So on the album, you're getting the frequency of the words, you're getting the frequency of the singing bowls. So that is one thing that is helping people. Some people use it to sleep by, because it's very quieting to your spirit. Very quieting. So yeah.
That's great to know, Greta. I mean, I've always feel to explain how this works, but I have always been curious to know how that works because certain times, most of the times actually, we listen to some kind of songs or tunes, and then it makes us feel good. Sometimes it depends on the kind of music that we're listening to. Sometimes it makes us sad, but now I whatever you explained, it really makes sense. I mean, now we know how and why that happens. So yeah, thank you for explaining that so beautifully. But that also makes me curious to know what happens in our body when we experience resonance versus noise or overstimulation.
Um, well, that's going to be, I think you're going to go into your nervous system, your central nervous system is going to pick it up, because everything inside your body vibrates to a certain frequency. That's why you can find a frequency that works just to heal your liver as well, or to boost your mood, to take you out of feeling depressed. So every part of your body has frequency and vibrates to that frequency. So when you have a sound that's going to help with that, then it's going to the body part and the sound come together. And I'm talking about this in a very simplistic way, because we could go into how does the nervous system work, how do the neurons, the neurotransmitters work, how all of that works for your good. But just simplistically, it is just the combination of the frequency of the particular body part that you want to heal, going with the particular sound. Like, there's so many types of ways to make sound. We've talked about the singing bowls. There are tuning forks. People can do tuning forks come at different frequencies, and you can learn which frequency of tuning fork is going to fit with what part of your body so that it connects. See, there's a connection. Your body is a living source. Every cell in your body has consciousness and unconsciousness. It's a living entity. See, we think of the cells as just being it's part of us, and that's it. We don't understand that each one of the cells can think. Um, because in my healing work that I do, I can work with the cells individually. I can have conversations with them. They can talk to me. I know what type of energy that they love. I know that the sounds of the music makes them feel good, you see? So it's very it's a whole combination of a lot of things that go into what how that works. But the bottom line is that there's a connection by way of frequency because each part of your body is made up of cells, and we have trillions of those. And in my work, I work also with nanocells, and we don't use it in
Oh,
terms of allopathic medicine. We use it in terms of another layer of cells that you don't see that are underlying the cells that you do see. So we work in the what you see and what you don't see. But music, sound will penetrate into what you see and what you don't see as well, because the sound can permeate into that area, into another reality. It doesn't just sit there. That's the wonder of sound.
that feels so relevant, especially in a world where our systems are constantly flooded with input but rarely nourished. So, what you said, it just made so much sense, Greta. But you also mentioned your album in silence. So, your album, it emphasizes both frequency and stillness. Why is silence just as powerful as sound in the healing process, according to you?
Hmm. When I did this album, it was amazing because it's the wording of the realm of beings, and that was channeled to me, the words. After we did the words, then Danielle Heiss, um, also went into a state of channeling and channeled which bowls fit with which songs, you see. Like sometimes she might use, let's see, I can give you a good example. She might use a G sharp or uh, that particular type of bowl. Like for the in silence piece itself, see the bowls also work with the main chakras. And the main chakras would be the ones that many people consider that there are 7 chakras, but there are trillions of chakras in your body. And but her, like in our first silence, um, um, we had like she used a D sharp, and that she used a D sharp, she used a B, and she used a G sharp. And remember, those are the pure frequencies because we didn't do any manipulation of that. So that it reached out to the high sacral chakra, the crown chakra, and then the ascension chakra. So that those are the areas that were being healed. So we worked according to the chakras with the bowls. So it didn't go for a particular body part as it was oriented toward the chakra itself. And that was, like I said, that was channeled to her. So with the bowls and with the voice, because the voice itself has frequency, you see. So when you listen to it, you become in involved or incorporated into the sound itself. Every cell of your body is oriented toward those sounds, the sound and frequency of the voice, the sound and the frequencies of the singing bowls themselves. So it makes for a very powerful healing piece. Be it that the only thing you want is to just rest and feel calm about that. Mhm. So, that's kind of how it works with us. I didn't realize it at first. I just realized that I needed to put the, um put the words down on paper, typing the words, and then she did the music. But then people started talking about it and saying that this is great. Like the gentleman who mixed it said that, he said that was the most peaceful album that he had, worked on, and felt so honored to be able to, do it. So, um, we get, accolades from it about it all the time. One woman, she's a nurse. She came home, she teaches nursing, and she said she came home and she sat in her, comfortable chair, and she was listening to the album, and she said, "Greta, I'm so sorry." I said, "Why are you sorry?" She said, "I fell asleep." I said, "That's wonderful." I said, "That is a true accolade to the power of the album itself." We have not found anyone that does not love it, and we encourage everybody, to go on YouTube and listen to it. All the pieces are there, and then on your music streaming devices, it's been distributed to all of them, so you can get the album at on any type of music platform and enjoy it. Yeah.
Yeah, that's amazing. And I love how you explained it. It reframes silence not as absence, but as a presence we can always return to. So yeah, I agree. I mean, silence is actually as powerful as sound, especially in the healing process. So Greta, yeah. Moving on, you bridge consciousness science with channeled wisdom. How do you help people stay grounded when working with multi-dimensional or non-ordinary states of awareness?
Well, one of the things is that, I work with the realm of beings. So and they've been with me since I was a child. But as I grew older, I became more, aware of them. I lived in Africa for a while, and that is where I really became closer to them. So everything that I use now in the healing process is through them. So, I learned first how to go remote by Dr. Irene Hickman. She trained me for 3 days along with others. And, but after that, after I learned how to go remote, not to do remote viewing. See, what I do is different from remote viewing. When you do remote viewing, that means that you go to look at something. When I go remote, I go to change something, to assist other entities that I can see in other realities. to assist them in becoming, uh, transforming themselves into a higher frequency. So here we go with frequencies again. So it's showing that the concept of frequency is not just with human beings, but it's basically with almost everything in existence. So sound is very, very important. It's much more than what we think it is. And it serves other entities that we are not necessarily aware of, you see. So, what I do is when I move them, they understand that they're going to be moved, and sometimes they become antithetical to that. They don't want to necessarily be moved, but sometimes they've gotta go and be transformed. So, my relationship, with them is a little bit different than somebody that's just going to, view something or to just look at it. So, the work then, can work with the individual psychologically, mentally, emotionally, because there are other subtle bodies, of which the physical body is one, but the physical body is the body that you see. So you believe that that's it. When there are about, oh, it varies, 26 to 29 other bodies that you have that we deal with. So when you ask me about how do I work with somebody with their conscious or their unconscious, we work with the mental body. We call it the mental body. Someone else may call it a different name, but we recognize that the mental body holds all your thoughts and the emotional body holds all your emotions so that we can help you deal with that to change your thoughts, change your emotions, because your thoughts and your emotions, which all have frequency, assist you in creating your reality that you see in front of you or that you experience. It's all by way of thought and emotion. So we encourage people to change your thoughts, but we just don't say, just do that. What we do, we teach techniques of being able to change a thought from one thing to another or to get rid of something. We have a technique called the QDR, which means quick displace, replace. So we'll have someone, let's say, if they are having a challenge with a parent, uh, so they can write down all the challenges that they have with that parent. So those are the thoughts. And then we ask them to assign to each thought an emotion that they had. So maybe one of the emotions could have been anger. Another emotion could have been sadness or feeling abandoned. So then we put it in the QDR, which tells the unconscious we don't want to experience this anymore. Because when I was studying clinical psychology, I was working on a doctorate in clinical psychology, and we were studying. I was reading something in one of my books, and the psychologist said, "You'll never be able to know where your unconscious mind is, but you can know because the unconscious, which does not forget anything, it remembers everything about you." Everything you did from sneezing to eating a banana, it remembers everything. So, if it thinks that you still have not learned to let go of anger, it will work with you and provide you with other experiences that will help you deal with anger. Because, see, everything in this reality is for us to learn from. and we create everything. We are the creators of who we are. We are the creators of that. Every experience you personal experience. Let me clarify that by saying, I'm going to say it again, personal experience. If it's happening to you, you've created it. So we work with people. What did you create? Okay, so let's change that because you don't want that. So we use the QDR as a means of that. And it states, I am experiencing, releasing all emotions and thoughts that support me in creating and maintaining feeling angry about my mother. So that's the displaced part. You're letting the unconscious know, I don't want that anymore. And then you go into the replacement. And the replacement is, I love myself unconditionally because loving yourself is really the top priority here. And it's not dealing in selfishness. Loving yourself is appreciating your divinity because each one of us is a divine being. What we show each other are personalities. Some people, we meet them, we don't like their personality, and we say, how did I bring that person into my uh, reality? You see, some people we like, some people we don't. But that's because you're dealing with their personality. Because we talk about duality. Each human being here has a duality. The first duality is that you're the force, and the force is that which creates all of existence. All of existence. So in the album, with the words, there's one on compassion, you know. It talks about how you can, who you really are. Like the one on the stance of oneness says, do you know the meaning of oneness? So we talk about these things with people. And that's why the album is very important because then you can listen to the words. It says, compassion is peace, calmness, serenity, and ocean waters that still the spirit. So it's to still your spirit, but we don't heal anybody. You know, some people ask me, are you a healer? No, I am not. But I support you in your healing process. That's what we do because people heal themselves. You know, sure, they might call me and say, Greta, I want to work with you. That's fine. You know, that's fine. But when we work with them to assist them in changing, because like we work with people who have Parkinson's disease, we're working with various cancers, we're working with people who are experiencing depression, we work with people who are addicted to drugs and alcohol or substance abuse, that they're experiencing that. We physically work with them with that, but then we help them understand, okay, why did you create that reality? What lesson do you want to learn from that? So that's how we kind of blend those two areas together, the unconscious and the conscious. How do we work with those two together? Because they're influencing, especially the unconscious is influencing your life, because it does not forget a thing. I hope that kind of answered it.
Yeah, definitely it did. I mean, you have explained it beautifully, and I find it so fascinating that sound, music, these are just such an important part of our lives, knowingly, unknowingly. And I think that what you are doing, it's great. Like you said that you don't heal people, and because people heal themselves. I mean, that's definitely true. But I think that yeah, sound plays a very important role, And it's great that you're helping people in that way. So it's amazing, Greta. And honestly, this conversation has been an eye opener for me, and I'm definitely going to take sound and music a lot more seriously in my life. And I'm sure that our listeners, they feel the same way about you. So in case they want to reach out to you, learn more from you, or listen to your album, so how can they do that? Could you just share with them?
They can listen to the album on Apple Music, Spotify. It's on YouTube. Um, and you, what you want to do is put in silence and put my name with it, Greta Chamberlain. In silence, Greta Chamberlain. And I encourage everybody to subscribe to my channel. I'd really appreciate hearing from you. We have shorts that appear, or reels as they call them, that appear on YouTube, Facebook, TikTok, Instagram, and various other streaming devices. So we encourage people to subscribe and start to get into the teachings of the realm of beings. You'll find it quite fascinating.
Great. So I'll have all the details on my show listing, and our listeners can feel free to reach out to you whenever and however they want. And to our dear listeners, here's a simple invitation for today or tonight. Sit quietly for 3 minutes, close your eyes, notice the farthest sound you can hear, then the closest. Now ask yourself, what part of me relaxes when I stop trying to control the soundscape? No fixing, no effort, just listening. Let sound meet you where you are. And if this episode resonated, share it with someone whose nervous system could use a little more softness and support. And if I Awaken is part of your unfolding journey, follow the show, leave a review, and help this space of conscious conversation continue to grow. Awakening doesn't always arrive as a breakthrough. Sometimes it arrives as a gentle frequency, a quiet remembering, a moment of inner peace that feels like home. Thank you for being here, for listening deeply, and for choosing awareness that honors both sides and soul. I'm Archita, and this has been I Awaken.